So radians are just another way of measuring an angle. We're going to start on that first page, so I promise you don't have to flip it. So we're really used to degrees. Being like, oh, when Miss Lombardi, Mrs. Turner, whatever I am, rotates a whole 360 degrees, we're so used to that. Do you know what that is in terms of radians? It's 2 pi. And you're like, I'm not as familiar with that, and that's okay. But we're going to just get a little bit more familiar with it. So here's what I want to show you. Hey, Miss Meister, check this out. So we'll come back to that, how to change into radians in a second, but I want us to show you this. My pre-calc teacher was like, okay, memorize them. Memorize the radians. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? And so this was a technique that I taught myself in order to figure out what degrees go with what radians. So in order to figure out everything that jumps by 30 degrees, what do you think it's going by multiples of? Pi over 6, meaning this is what I would do when I was you guys. I'd say 1 pi over 6 is the same as 30 degrees. And again, I'm going to show you the why. But then what's 2/6? Is 2 pi over 6 the same as 1/3? So could I go 1/6? Then I'm going to put it in a different color. 1/6, 2/6. Is 3/6 the same as 1/2? 4/6, 5/6. What about 6/6? That's just 1, right? Then I got 7/6. What about 8/6? 4/3, right? 9/6. Yeah, divided by each of them by 3. 10/6. 11/6. What about 12/6? What does 12/6 simplify to be? 2, just like my man Ben Richmond said, one rotation was 2 pi. That's going to get me back a whole rotation, right? So anything from my 30 degrees, I always count by sixths. And the amount of times that we're going to go 1, 6, 2, 6, 3, 6, 4, 6, 5, 6, 6, 6, it's going to be annoying, but it's going to help. Now, do I want you to write 2/6 like on your unit circle? I don't. I want us to simplify it. But if this is what we need to use to get to the simplified version, great. What about if we go with 45 degrees? What are we counting by?
Divided by 4.
Fourths. So what would this would be 1/4. Is 2/4 the same as a half? So 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. I love when I don't have to simplify them. What about 4/4?
That's 1.
We're back to 1 pi. 5/4. Is 6/4 3/2? Yeah, and 7/4. And then what's the next one? Is 8/4 the same as 2 or 2 pi? Yeah, so that's my hint. That's what helps me. Do you need to do it? No. Is it helpful? I thought so. So here we are. Let's go put in degrees first. What degree goes right here? 0. And 360 goes 0 all the way around will get me to 360. Let's cut that in half. What's a half a rotation? 180. Half of 180? Half between 180 and 360? 270. Very good. Let's cut each of those in half. Half of 90? 45. Okay. I'm actually going to stop that 45 business because I'm going to go with my 30s now. Let's go count 30, 60, 90, every 30. 30, 60, 90 plus 30, plus 30, plus 30. 180 is already there. I love that little landmark. Plus 30, plus 30, plus 30, plus 30, plus 30, plus 30. We're back to where we started. So I love my little landmarks. And then I think the 45s are easier in between them. What's halfway between 120 and 150? 15 either way. 135. In between 210 and 240, 15 either way. 225. And in between 300 and 330. Okay. So that's nothing new to us. The radians today are going to be something new to us. So we still start at 0 radians. My man Ben Richmond said a whole thing around is going to get me 2 pi. So let's go put a 2 pi over there. You guys, what would halfway around get me then?
Pi.
A 1 pi. Uh-huh. What about half of that?
1 over pi. Or
Close. Pi over 2 or 1/2 pi. And we'll typically just write that as a pi over 2. So check this out. 1/2 pi. 2/2 pi. What do we do down here? 3/2 pi. 3 pi over 2? What about over there? We went 1/2, 2/2, 3/2, 4/2. Is that the same as 2? Okay. All right. So now let's go with those 30s. Let's go with those 30 degrees, you guys. Let's do it. 30 degrees. We're going to count by sixths, y'all. But we do need to remember our pi. So we got 1/6. And maybe off to the sides, you're already like, well, that's 1/6. Then I got 2/6. We're counting every 30 degrees. So I got to skip my 45. 2/6 would simplify to be 1/3. How would I write that as a radian? Pi over 3. So here we'd have 1/6, 2/6. Is this guy 3/6? 3/6 is a half. What's this one going to be? 4/6 is the same as? Good. 4/6 is going to be 2 pi over 3. 1/6, 2/6, 3/6, 4/6. What's this one going to be? 5 pi over 6. 5/6. I love it. I love the ones that we don't have to simplify. What about 6/6? Is that still just 1 pi? We feel okay about that, okay? What's 4/6, 5/6, 6/6, 7/6? At 240, 8/6 is going to be 4 pi over 3. Down here I have 9/6. Does that still simplify to 3 pi over 2? Yeah. 6/6, 7/6, 8/6, 9/6. 10/6 is 5 pi over 3. Then 11/6. Then I'd end at 12/6. Is that really 2 pi? All right. This is so much. We just counted by sixths. Then at my 45 degrees, you guys, we're going to count by fourths. I'm going to put this one in black. We're going to count by fourths. 1/4 we're going to say is 1 pi over 4. We're going to count every 45 degrees, which would get me here. 1/4, wouldn't that give me 2/4? 2/4 is still a half. What about this one? 3/4, love it, 3 pi over 4. Then I'm here at 4/4. Does that make sense? Yeah. Here, 5/4. Down here would be 6/4. Adds up. Over here, 7/4. And lastly, is 8/4 still just 2 pi? Yeah. Whew. Okay. So I wanted us to just see that once today before we keep going, before we see it tomorrow. I do want us to throw those coordinates in there and then you're done. And I know that you've already had to do this on a quiz today, so I apologize. But I'm going to go ahead and just make sure that I've got this because this is going to be, we're going to use this a lot this unit. So I'm hoping that we feel okay. 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. Divide everything by 2s and square root them. So go ahead and just get this, and then we're done for the day. I just wanted to make sure that we could start on Thursday quickly. Tatum, you sick, girl? No? Good. So we're used to talking in radians. I'm sorry, in degrees. And now we're going to talk in radians. Those calculators will be switched to radians soon. Doesn't have to be now, but that's where we're headed.